This is Hannibal here, and I just finished watching a video of The Undertaker talking about how he didn't mind taking chops, but the chop of Haku was so strong, it actually made him want to shoot at first, but then he realized it was Haku and calmed down. Here's some of the chops I've taken from
As
Haku.
El Cazador de Sangre delivers his own violence here. Big chop! Oh! By Haku! Oh! El Cazador de Sangre!
So for a Haku chop, first of all, I have fairly big hands. My chops are pretty big, pretty damn big. But his hands are like maybe that much thicker. He has almost like they're smaller, but they're thicker. They're kind of like bear paw hands. And when he hits you, you really feel it. I would say he's the hardest chop I've ever had, for sure. I wouldn't say it's at the Undertaker's level of wanting to shoot on him for taking the chop. I like getting chopped hard because I chop hard. Actually, the only guy that has been able, the one thing I like about Haku, he might give them hard, but he can also take them. You can hit Haku as hard as you want, and he's not going to complain. I mean, look at how hard I'm chopping and
The toughest of all time. Highly reputed by everyone, the likes of everyone who's ever covered professional wrestling, seen professional wrestling. They know he's the most violent. But tonight,
like he'll take full on forearms to the head. That's what I like about him. There's only one guy I've ever wrestled that can take blows that hard and not complain, and that's this man, Dan Severn.
Big forearms again out there, and this audience is getting a close-up view of what Hannibal's capable of. Wait a minute. Takes him back into the guardrail. Forearm to the chest.
And of course, Dan Severn, multiple time UFC champion. But these guys are rare because for people that don't know that are like wrestling's fake, blah, 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 blah. I've heard Ric Flair talk about it too. Some guys are pussies and don't like getting chopped. Bret Hart is one of the guys Ric Flair said he didn't like wrestling because he didn't like getting chopped. There was a guy in Abdullah didn't like getting chopped. You can see I chopped him if you have watched any of my Abdullah's match. One time I went to chop him again, he put the fork up. He hates getting chopped. Considering he's as fat as he is, that's a surprise. But there's some pansy that was named Chris Joel in Puerto Rico. I remember once I chopped him and then he blocked my second chop and I got so mad that I actually like took him down amateur style for real and somewhat shot on him because he was being such a pussy about getting chopped. I mean, in the dungeon, we'd have to take sometimes 60 chops a class, so it wasn't tough. Davy Boy Smith Jr., by the way, I've wrestled him multiple times too. You could chop him as hard as you want all day. He doesn't care. He's from the dungeon. All I'm saying is Haku has a very hard chop. He'll also take it just as hard and not care. That's one of the reasons why I love wrestling him. I've worked with him 3 times total. I wish I could work with him more. Barbarian is also like that. You can hit him as hard as you want. As Giant Gonzalez said, loves Faces of Fear. Gunther throws the hardest chop. I doubt it. I would say I do. I'm not going to say the term, but Gunther is scrawny. I would actually demolish Gunther. That's shoot. I would demolish him. I would make him. I mean, it's WWE, but I mean, I know he throws a hard chop, but it wouldn't be pretty if I ever got a hold of him. But that's one of the reasons I'm not in there. I'm too rough for those type of guys. It's just the way